Hello, greetings, greetings. Hello, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, greetings to you. Thank you so much for pressing play. I don't take it lightly. Thank you. Thank you for pressing play. And thank you for subscribing. I just know you have, right? And thank you for sharing. Thank you for suggesting that somebody else subscribe, telling somebody else about Get the Pen. This is Get the Pen, and my name is Janine Folks. To learn more, you can always go to www.getthepen.net to learn more about me, my books, and what I do, what I'm about, my bio, and all that good stuff, and links to purchase books. So today I was just thinking about safe space, safety. Safety is pretty high up there on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And what I'm talking about as far as safety is not just physical safety, but emotional, spiritual safety. Are you a safe place? Are you safe? Well, are you safe and are you a safe space? We all need to be safe. We all want to be safe. Um, we should not have to exist under a threat of harm or constant dread. That is not healthy. That could be detrimental to our well being when we do not feel safe, when we are not safe, when we are in harm's way, and when we are hurt, harmed, and injured. And injury, harm can come from unsafe spaces. So we try to avoid unsafe spaces and only go in places that we deem as safe because we want to protect ourselves as we should. And it's only right and it only makes sense that we protect ourselves because safety is a high priority need. It's not just a want, it's a need, it's a necessity that we feel safe. Now, as we set out to keep ourselves in safe spaces, something else that we should be mindful of is that we should be able to provide a safe space for others. And I'm not saying that have to be like security or trying to protect people physically, but I mean a safe emotional space. Like, are you that person when people see you coming, they're like, oh my God, like watch what you say around her. Don't say, shh, she talks to me, or no, she might hurt your feelings. So, you know, do we hurt people? Do we have a reputation of being crass, harsh toward people? Do we say mean and insensitive things? Are we bullies? There are so many grown up bullies that walk around that low key bully people, and sometimes they do it in the name of a joke. They try to act like they're joking and playing, but they are really being shady bullies, and they are harmful and hurtful to others. They are not a safe space. They are not who people want to be around. And I hope that is not you. And if it is you, maybe that's something that we could work on. That's a goal that we could set. Is that we want to be a safe space. Now, I'm not saying that we need to let people drain us, okay? Don't let people drain you, but at the same time, cause no harm, okay? We should not be out here wreaking havoc in people's lives. We should not be out here saying mean things, hurting people with our words, hurting their feelings, destroying their self esteem, and all of that. And not that we're responsible for anybody's self esteem or how they feel about themselves, but we never know how fragile people might be or what else might be hurting them. And then we could be the straw that broke the camel's back because they were already on the edge. And then we said something slick that sent them right over, that made them just say, you know what, forget it. Forget it, because words hurt. They can hurt. So we need to be careful with ours, and we need to be mindful and considerate of other people's feelings. And I know sometimes we may speak mindlessly. I've done it where you kind of say something that you probably shouldn't have said, and it could have been hurtful. And if you do realize that you did something like this, we can go and apologize and say, oh, you know what, I didn't mean for that to come out like that, or I hope that you weren't offended. At least try to fix it, try to make it right. At least try. Hopefully you can. And I think sometimes people appreciate knowing that maybe they took it out of context, or that your heart was in a different place, in a better place than what they had perceived. So just try to make it right when we say things that might be potentially offensive to others, or maybe even harmful, because we want to be a safe space. We don't want to be the one that laughs at people, talks about people, make people feel bad about themselves, hurting their feelings, or rubbing things in their face, or just being mean and nasty. That's so unsafe, so unsafe. And we don't want to be unsafe, okay? We don't want to be unsafe people. We don't want it happening to us, and we don't want to be the ones who would inflict or impose that on somebody else. So think about safe spaces, and are you safe? Are you somebody that can be trusted? Are you somebody that will be protective of a person's heart and of their feelings? And like I said, we don't need to be a savior. We don't have to carry a savior complex or save the world. We don't have to do that. But at the same time, we should offer a degree of safety to those who are entrusted to us. Speaking of entrusted to us, my shout out for this week, I want to shout out my son, AJ. I don't know if I've done it before, and I noticed that sometimes I'll forget who I shouted out, and I might shout him out again. But hey, it's okay. I don't know if I've shouted out AJ, my son Adam, but I'm going to do it today. He is the story, the man behind AJ's miracle. He's a man now. He's my baby, my youngest, but he is a grown man now. And I want to shout him out just for being so awesome, for beating the odds, for being what the medical professionals didn't think he would be. And he has been living independently for over a year in his own apartment. He's got a job, he pays his own bills, he buys his own food. He's pretty independent. He does not call me for anything. He is pretty self-sufficient, and I'm very proud. That has always been my goal for my children, is to create independent individuals, because we don't know what's going to happen to us. I wanted them to be able to survive in the event that I'm no longer here. And I tried preparing them early. And a lot of times they didn't like it, because there were things I would just step back and withdraw myself, because I needed them to step up. And they've all stepped up. They're all out on their own, living independently. Two moved out of state, and the third one, AJ, he, as soon as he's able to, I know he's leaving the state. But I have been intentional about not clipping their wings. Yeah, it's hard letting your kids go, but at the same time, you got to cheer them on, be proud of them, and pray for their strength, pray for their protection and provision and all of that, so that they can be safe on their own as they are out in this world. And we know this world can be a hard place, but they are prayed for and protected. They are provided for, and I've tried to pour the best parts of me into them. And was I a perfect mom? No, I'm not perfect at anything, but I did the best that I could, and I was very intentional about how I raised them and preparing them. So shout out to AJ. And he's going to be starting school in the fall. He's working full time. And I just wanted to shout him out and say how proud I am of him. And speaking of which, he just texted me too, to let me know that he's about to go on a tour at an apartment, so he's ready to move. And he texted me to ask me, do I want to go? He said, Ma, do you want to come? Sure. And so I do appreciate that my children do consult me. I'm their consultant. I'm more of a consultant now, because they do value my opinion, and they need guidance still. They're young and they're adults, but they're still learning. And I'm happy to be able to be their, a guide for them, to be a consultant for them. And I don't try to tell them what to do, but they've been good about making pretty good decisions. So I am very, very proud of them for that. So my reading for this week is going to come from She Shall Be. And there it is right there behind me, She Shall Be. The cover may look familiar. So I'm going to read an excerpt. It's not really the whole article, but I'm going to pull some important segments of the article called His Passion. And I'm going to read that to you. Seems like there was something else I was going to say. I don't know, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to read the excerpt. So I was talking about safe spaces, and are you a safe space? Are you, somebody that people can trust and that they like being around you because you raise their vibration, I guess. You bring peace. Do you bring peace or do you bring turmoil? Things to think about. And sometimes we can inadvertently bring chaos, but we want to learn how to manage our chaos and make it more into peace so that we are peaceful, that people come around us and they're healed just by our presence. Their spirits are lifted just because they encountered us. That's what we want to be. We want to be safe, and we want to be peaceful and healing to others. We want to be healers. We are healers, but we just need to be aware of it and intentional about healing. Speaking of which, this article called His Passion, taken from She Shall Be. Oh, that's what I was going to say. She Shall Be. That's a whole nother thing that I want to talk about, She Shall Be, and how that whole title came up. I think I'll do that next time because we're already 12 minutes in. So, His Passion. I wrote this about men, to support the men in our lives, whether it's your son, your brother, your father, cousin, boyfriend, lover, husband, fiance, whatever man is in your life that you love. This is to help us to be supportive and safe for them, okay? His passion. Now, I talked a little bit about tears, and I told you this was excerpts, it's not the whole article. But we know tears fall from the eyes, but they come from the heart. Next to pride, a man's heart is his most guarded possession. Consequently, many men avoid expressing their emotions as if they don't have feelings, but they do. Men are human, so they have to feel. But where is it safe for them to feel? There are few safe places for a man's heart to be vulnerable. Think about the men in your life. And even for us who have sons, growing up, we tried to protect our sons, to keep them safe. We were protective of them, but at the same time, we knew we had to let them be strong. And that's a hard thing to do, and that's a delicate balance. It's hard for a mom to try to let her son be strong and watch him struggle and let him struggle, because they need to struggle in order to grow. And there were times I had to let him struggle and not intervene and let him cry angry and not step in because it was for his highest good. Now here's a quote from Luke 19:41. As Jesus approached Jerusalem and he saw the city, he wept over it. Jesus was not indifferent. He wept. That means he cried. That was passion. He had fervor and zeal, which propelled him to action. With few men crying out over ills of society, how do we bring passion back to desensitized men who don't realize that they can make a difference? Now, you have to read the whole article for this all to make sense. So what I'm saying is a lot of our men have become so hardened. They don't cry, they don't show emotions, they don't allow themselves to feel. But because they're human, we know they have feelings. So what are they doing with these feelings? They're suppressing them, and then they're becoming desensitized, lacking passion. So where does this take us? Where does this lead us? Not in a good place, because they need to feel safe. They need to feel safe with their feelings. They need to be feeling safe with their tears. Now, as women, we can foster an environment where passion is dignified, where hearts and tears of men are safe and respected. We can help the men in our lives be more expressive. We do this by caring for them and earning their trust. Our sons, our husbands, our brothers, and our fathers need our loyalty. They need our support and they need our protection. No longer can we afford to mishandle men's hearts. Okay, ladies? And I know some of us have done it, and some of us have done it with good reason, or with reason, good or not, I don't know, but we fumbled. But so have they, but this is not a us against them thing. This is a how can we work together regardless of who started what. That part doesn't matter. So what we got to do is end the perpetuating of pain of the us against them. That has to stop. We solidify relationships with faithfulness. So that's where it starts, faithfulness. And that's how we make the relationship solid. And that goes on both sides. So it's not a us against them, it's a how do we come together. Even when things are wrong, we can do right, like Abigail. Abigail, you got to read about her in 1 Samuel. In 1 Samuel 25:35, she earned David's respect, and you can read about why and how. A man feels safe with who he respects. A man feels safe with who he respects. Can he feel safe with you? Is he safe with you? And when we're protecting and providing safety, we have to be authentic. We have to be real. This is not something you can fake or pretend. This has to be real, has to be genuine. We need to cherish our men's sacred hearts and their tears. And in doing so, women will birth the return of male passion. So it lies within us. We can birth the return of male passion where men are no longer desensitized, where they're no longer hardened and emotionless. We can help bring that back. We've got the power to do it. Search within yourself. How can I be gentle? How can I be loving? Still being strong, but how do I earn his respect? And earning respect starts with giving respect. Even when a person doesn't earn the respect from us, we respect them just because they're human, just because they exist. There's a certain amount of dignity that each human deserves just because they're human and just because they exist. And I know sometimes we feel like we don't want to respect them because of this, they did this or they did that. They're not worthy of our respect. Respect needs to be, unconditional to an extent. Now, I'm not saying being a doormat or let anybody take advantage of you or abuse you or anything like that. That's never okay. And there are some people we do have to just keep our distance from because of the disrespect. Just don't even move in those circles. Stay away from those circles where you're being like utterly disrespected to the point of harm, where you're not safe. You've got to keep yourself safe. Now, even though we're providing safety, we still have to maintain our safety as well. So be mindful of that. And I'm not saying put yourself in situations that are not safe for you emotionally or physically. But with as long as, as much as it lies within us, we have the power to restore male passion. And we do that by earning their respect. And that comes from how you carry yourself, how you walk day to day, the decisions you make, how you move in this world. Do you move in a respectful way? Are you respecting others? Are you being loyal? Are you being faithful? Are you respecting yourself? Are you demonstrating self-respect? Because a man has got to respect self-respect. When you command that respect, they respect that. And they may not always speak on it. They may not always tell you because they don't want it to go to your head or whatever their reasoning is. But some of them will quietly respect you. And some of that is earned over time. And I told you, I do hospice visits. I visit patients. And I don't just walk in there and people automatically respect me or open up to me or trust me with their innermost, deepest pain and feelings, I have to establish those relationships and earn respect. And that takes time because people are guarded. They've been hurt before. So you can't expect them to just give you, their vulnerabilities. You have to earn that, and it takes time, and it takes a series of you demonstrating through your actions, through the way you handle things, and just the way you move to earn that respect. How do you carry yourself? How do you dress? How do you look? How do you talk? How do you act? Is it worthy of respect? How do you respond to difficulties? How do you respond to insults? How do you respond to pain? How do you respond to disappointment or things that are unfair to you? How do you respond to those things? What level of maturity are you operating in? Are you throwing tantrums? Are you hurting people? Are you saying nasty things to people? Those things don't earn a lot of respect. But people will watch you. They will watch how you respond to things, how you react to the worst things. And that's how you're going to earn the respect. And it's got to be genuine. So come on, ladies. We got so much power and so much that we can do, so many ways we can change the world and help people. But we need to be a safe space, safe to ourselves and safe to the people that we've been entrusted with, the people who cross our paths, the men, the women, everybody. We've got to respect them, but first we respect ourselves, and we've got to be safe. Stay safe and be safety for somebody. Thank you all. Bless you. Love you. Mwah. See you later.